You record?
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Hey everybody, I'm Wing Skull.
And I'm Adrian Tilley.
And this is Marshmallow Mimosa.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're very excited.
But can't you tell?
Always.
I think I'm getting my second wind.
Perfect timing.
Coffee roller coaster went down, and now it's back up to like a silly factor, so it's perfect for podcasting.
Perfect. So before we get full silly mode, let's hop into a few updates and reminders and announcements and things before
Housekeeping.
we get going. Yeah. AKA housekeeping. True fact, I used to do housekeeping.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a professional at what I'm about to do.
All right.
And first on that list, sorry. I don't know, I'm in a mood.
Yep, we both are. It's all
Yeah.
good.
First on that list is the giveaway. We've been talking about this. You've been hearing about this.
Boo, 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 boo.
Exactly. Now you should go and fire off a laser to do something about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Pew, 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 pew. Everybody do pew, 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 pew fingers.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's actually a requirement. There's a few requirements. One of them is that you have to actually, while you're doing this, make laser sounds. We will know if you don't. Trust us.
True.
The other requirements is that
Just typing a review. Pew, 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 pew.
I want someone to do that, actually. The other ways that you can enter, besides making laser sounds, go leave us a review on iTunes. That helps us out a great deal. If you do leave us a review, make sure you send us an email to let us know what your username is so that we can connect an email to a username. Mm-hmm. Also, if you think about it, let us know what country you're in, because we recently discovered that we can only see certain reviews based on the country of
there's
iTunes stores.
Yeah, every iTunes has a different store for every country.
Yeah.
And so all of our fans are apparently outside of the country. So I was like, what the heck? And then I was like, oh, there's some UK listeners and there's Canadian listeners and there's one US listener. Okay.
And there's Australia too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hello from around the world, everybody.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
This is super. Yeah. That's actually pretty humbling. But yeah, so if you are outside the US, maybe let us know what country you're in as well, because that is apparently a thing that we need to keep on top of. So yeah, leave us that review on iTunes. That's one way that you will be entered. Another way you can enter is to become one of our patrons on Patreon. Mm-hmm. And you can sign up for that for as little as $1 per month. Get some cool stuff. We're very excited. You get episodes early too, and you can, there's all kinds of cool stuff. Just go check it out. And that is patreon.com/marshmallowmimosa. And what will you be getting in this giveaway, you might ask? Let me tell you.
What will we be getting?
Let me tell you, Adrian. /fans. /marshmallow.
I am a fan of us.
I actually am also a fan. I think we are our two top fans. We're super narcissistic here. You'll be getting a book bath box. One of the summer Winks and Ink book bath boxes, which you can no longer get those. Whoa. I mean, you can still get book bath boxes. Nobody freak out. But the summer ones are sent out, and I just have these ones for the giveaway.
Exclusive items.
Super exclusive. So yeah, you should definitely sign up for that. And we will be keeping this open until August 31st. And beginning of September, we will pick the winners and announce it. And it'll be very, very exciting. The other things that we need to announce. 1, we have a survey. It's going to be linked down in the description if you're on YouTube, or if you are on our website, we'll have it somewhere. And
on Patreon as well.
Also on Patreon. And you can go and fill that out. We just want some general feedback on what you have enjoyed, what you would like more of, what you'd like less of, etc. From this last 3 months of podcasting.
Yeah, we're wrapping up on season 1 because we've been doing just experiments, seeing what we like, seeing what you guys like. And so we need to hear about what you liked. And I know we get a lot of feedback about liking hearing about projects and our general life lessons and struggles and whatnot. But we also want to know if you liked hearing about nerdy things, or if you'd ever want to hear us, interview people or whatnot. So, yeah.
Exactly. So, fill that out if you would be so inclined. That will help us as we prepare to enter season 2. With that noted, we are going to have 13 episodes total. The last episode is going to be...
Lucky 13.
Yes, I really like that. So the last episode is going to be airing on September 6th or 5th if you are a patron. And then we're going to take possibly a week or two break just to sort of make our plans, get a little bit of a head start on season 2. And then later in September, we're going to jump on in. It's going to be exciting. Yeah. Okay. Housekeeping done.
Done. I think it's your turn for
Is it?
What you're into.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like you throw it to me all the time, so it's you.
It's, yeah, you know.
Because you feel like you talk too much.
I do.
You're fine.
I talk a lot.
I don't care. I like it.
Okay. I'm going to add that on do you like how much Wings talks?
Yep.
Okay. So I've been into a few things. Oh, one thing that... I don't know if this really counts as what I'm into, but it's something that I did earlier today, which I thought I would share. I met a local booktuber, which is very exciting. I've mentioned her before. This is Sam from Sam's Nonsense.
Is this the one that you pass by on the street?
In the crosswalk.
You actually met her this time.
We have talked quite a bit on, YouTube, on Twitter, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. We were crossing paths a few months ago. We were on either side of the street, and I realized, hey, that's Sam from Sam's Nonsense. And so I tapped her and awkwardly passed her, and it was a lulz moment. We have actually had lunch now and had a real conversation that was more than 5 seconds long.
Lovely.
And it was great. And it's always kind of surreal to me whenever I meet people from BookTube, just because I'm so used to seeing them in this really specific environment and talking in a certain way, and then suddenly they're a real person, and now I can see how tall they are, and which is fun because Sam
said she has lovely hair too.
Yeah, she has very lovely hair. She has that sort of mermaid coloring.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact: Sam is an inch taller than me. We're both very, very short. So that's fun. And yeah, we were talking, and I don't know, we're both kind of introverts, and so we were having that initial oh hi, I kind of know you, but I also don't I've never talked to you really, so what do we do kind of moment. And then we went and sat down with our food, and the first thing I did was drop food on my pants. But it was perfect because then that launched us into a oh haha, I also spill food on myself regularly kind of conversation.
Going forward with awkwardness has only steered me wrong one time.
Yeah.
So I usually just go forward with awkwardness.
Exactly. Usually the realm of people that I'm hanging out with, we can all relate to this.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
It ended up being a very fun meeting, and we will be doing a library event at the Hillsboro, Oregon Library.
Cool.
Later in September. There's going to be a little festival with writing workshops, and authors are going to be there. And so we're going to do we're going to have a little booth, do a little panel thing on BookTube and content creation. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
It's fun that we got to meet beforehand too, so then we'll not just be meeting for the first time when we're co-hosting this thing. So, so that was fun. Otherwise, the things that I've been into are actually pretty similar to what I was doing last week. Still, I'm continuing on in the Driss series. I just started the 7th book today. Loving it. I finished reading one of the sci-fi books that I had picked out for Book Bath Box, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be the winter book. But I also just started in on another one, which may be a contender for the winter box, but I might just also stow it away for a future book. I've also, on that note, been planning out the autumn box contents. I'm really getting going with that this week. And it's actually, for some reason this week, it's really kind of kicked off. And I've had a few vendors messaging me. And I feel like I was feeling behind in how I was planning the contents of this particular box. I was feeling like I needed to like pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I'm getting super far ahead. Like I'm basically planning out autumn, winter, and possibly spring. Like in this week, I'm starting to kind of make those contacts. So that's making me feel super solid, and hopefully that will actually pan out, and I'll just have like a really easy next year of book bath boxing. And then the other thing is moving. I'm getting ready to move apartments, and this is officially the last podcast that we are going to be recording in this apartment.
It won't sound any different, but yeah.
No, it won't. But you know, you can just picture that the next one will be like fancier somehow.
Right now all of the bookshelves are almost empty. It's creepy.
It's actually really creepy. Yeah. I posted a picture on Instagram, on the Marshmallow Mimosa Instagram, of YT earlier. It's a cute
little
one.
loaf.
She was like super loafing.
Yeah.
Like total cat loaf.
Yep.
And you can see my shelves in the background just full of like pretty books, and it's just making me like, I had a moment when I was posting it like, they don't look like that right now, and I'm so sad about it. But it's okay. This having to pack them all up and then unpack them later just means it gives me an opportunity to like reorganize the shelves, and I was already starting to feel as if that was needed.
Are you have like a alphabetical genre color?
I go mostly by genre, but also by author, and like subgenre a little bit, like depending. So like I always have a Laurie R. King, like the Mary Russell books. They're like basically a whole shelf.
Yeah.
Robin Hobb has her own shelf. Those books. Then I usually had like favorite sci-fi, favorite fantasy, and then kind of split it off a little bit. But I think I'm going to break those up a little bit more. I've got some plans. I don't know. I'm sure I'll do like a shelf tour video or something for my channel.
Nice.
Anyway, so yeah, that's basically it for me.
All right. I also met somebody. So
Ooh.
I mentioned it last week. There's this local neon shop, which is one guy. And I went to meet with him yesterday, and he was the sweetest person on the planet. And he was like, he was so nice. And at the end, he was like, "Thank you so much for stopping by." It was and I was like, "Why are you thanking me?"
That's
okay. But,
awesome.
He's just excited to talk about his stuff. It was, as you expect, very cool. And he had very cool signs there, and lots of like scrap and stuff. And he was totally into me potentially like, he pointed me to a really good class to start with, and I'll have to maybe wait a little bit for that, but he was totally into me, like, potentially learning with him in a semi kind of apprenticeship kind of thing, and he's like, I have a ton of scrap that you could start learning some of this, like, starting to bend neon and stuff like that, and I was just like, psh, yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I need to see if I actually enjoy it, that's, like, the first step when we were talking about that, it's like, I might, like, get in there and be like, oh, okay, nope. This is not for me.
But this gives you the opportunity to actually go and like try it.
Yeah, it's
without having to invest thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it's one of those craft skills that it's like, you'd have to. It's hard to even try. So yeah.
But it's also one that if you did it, it's like one of the cooler skills that I can imagine having.
Yeah. I think a lot of people. Yeah. So I am definitely going to be pursuing that. And hopefully it won't take forever because they only teach the class like twice a year. So, and another one was a movie I saw last weekend, and it was super great. It's called Colossal. It's a newer movie, I think maybe 2016.
That title sounds familiar.
You might not recognize the premise when you hear about it because it's kind of fantastical. It's kind of like but it's this woman, and she realizes that there's this monster rampaging in Seoul.
Okay.
Korea, and she realizes that she's actually controlling the monster. The trailer makes it look like it's a comedy, and it's not.
No.
It is not a comedy. The people are very funny, but it's really serious, some serious themes. And I'll spoil. Do you want me to spoil just a little bit to kind of give you an idea?
I'm okay with that.
Okay. You can skip forward like 15, 30 seconds. But it's like a lot of themes of like, abuse basically,
Oh,
and like
okay.
woman abuse, and like this like abuse of power, and like
yeah.
and it gets so serious. Like the climax scene is like this one where it's so it's like this one playground
Yeah.
is where it basically is Seoul, like the
Yeah.
playground layout, and when she walks over at this specific point in the day, it's when the monster appears, and like there's this, I don't want to like spoil it because it was so good.
Yeah.
It's just like really serious. Like I was super duper uncomfortable.
Yeah,
for,
no,
like,
I mean,
a
that's
big
good
chunk
just
of
to
it.
like give people trigger warnings, basically.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, like I don't know, you probably didn't watch Big Little Lies, but that was like an HBO series.
No, I didn't. I
A lot of people
heard
are
of it,
talking
but
about it. Yeah, and there's some serious, serious like abuse stuff going on with like Nicole Kidman. That's like, woo, I'm really, really uncomfortable right now. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, like both of them resolve it really well, but it's just like it had been a while since I watched anything, both of those, where I was like, oh, like
Yeah. No, that's heavy.
some serious feels. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
All right, so take that warning if you want to
Warning,
watch
but
those movies.
highly
or shows.
recommended. Yeah,
Yeah.
Colossal was a great movie. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
Is that all your stuff?
yes,
On that happy note.
but it was so good. It was like a really serious drama,
Yeah.
like almost a thriller. So
Okay, yeah, that's kind of like what I had in my head, the vague memory that I have.
Okay, because the trailer I feel like might have looked different than what it really is. So yeah,
Yeah, I don't even remember.
yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, anyway.
Anyway,
Moving on to our exciting topics. So this is a topic that has been affecting both of us recently, and that is when you have a million project ideas and you are not able, due to like time, other like, IRL responsibilities, whatever motivations, you can't get into them.
Yeah.
And that frustration.
yeah. It's funny because sometimes I feel like we're like, we have all this stuff figured out. We're doing all these projects and we know what we're doing, and but then it's like, oh no, the same pitfalls of like,
Oh, yeah.
over and over again. Of like,
No, we do not have this figured out. We just tried enough things that eventually something kind of sticks.
yeah. Oh yeah. Just throw a lot of stuff at the wall and see what you like. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I've been really inspired by a million things lately, and like, all of my notes, I had to like start organizing them. I just like have a bunch of notes in my iPhone notes thing, and it's like one of the newest ones I was just telling you about earlier is I woke up at like 6 a.m. I had like an app, like a augmented reality app idea, and it says dream neat idea.
It's a perfect title.
For you waking up at 6 a.m. and be like, oh, cool idea. I have t-shirt / product / illustration ideas. I have my real to-do list, which is actually his other things, animation ideas, spooky story ideas, just a million things going on. That's like,
And then on top of that, you have me occasionally sending you messages like, Adrian, we should make this thing.
and I'm like, totally, I should write it down.
Like, I decided based on the fact that I like to put stickers on my laptop, I was like, we should make stickers.
We totally should make stickers, though.
Because I just want to put stickers on my laptop, and then also we can like give them to people.
Yes. That is A-okay with me. Yeah, so that's kind of like, I just have like, even if there's simple illustration ideas or whatever, but I just keep on. But also I kind of have been, I realized, I think as a pattern in my life, is I do think I get reverse sad, which is like when I get like in the summer, I feel a lot of like anxiety and like scatterbrained, and I feel like more like kind of like just like kind of like general anxiety starting around like late July.
Just to clarify that, sad as in seasonal affective disorder, not like reverse sad as in you feel happy.
Yes, good point. Yeah, it is sad, but they call it reverse SAD when it's in the summer, which is stupid because they're both seasonal affective disorder.
But normally when people hear seasonal affective disorder, they think you get
winter
sad feelings and you feel like and depressed and stuff when it's winter.
Yeah. But I prefer the winter, and I prefer cold, and I like scarves and coziness and jackets and wrapping up in a blanket with tea.
Here.
And I think part of it is probably because those are all my the things that make me feel better and are my, like kind of my ritual things. And I cannot do those in the summer because it's miserable when you do that in the summer.
Yeah. I have been having a hard time because I have all of these. I have a basket on my bookshelf right now that says bath bombs.
Oh.
That thing is full. Like,
yeah.
I don't even know. It's probably like 12. Imagine, folks at home, imagine like a 12 by 12 box. Just overflowing with bath products. 'Cause I have so many bath bombs and bubble bars and all these things that I've just been piling up, and it's really hot and it's hard to take a hot bath. And then it's like, I don't necessarily like the full experience of these products is to have them in a hot bath. Like cool baths are nice in the hot, but anyway.
Yeah. I was reading about it, and it wasn't like, a lot of it was talking about it'll start making you feel that way because it's like it disrupts maybe your sleep patterns because it's sun's out for so long. Like there can be things with like too much sunlight actually causing like physiological reactions, but also like just disruptions in your like how you like to do things normally or whatever. And that I think too can also just make you feel like, and I think that is a big part of it for me. Where I'm just
that makes sense. Yeah, and it's been exceptionally hot here.
Yeah, today was pretty nice though.
Today was I always ask my Amazon Echo to give me the weather in the morning, and I felt more overjoyed than I ever thought I could because the high for the day was under 90.
Yeah.
It was 87. I know. I was just, so good.
It's going to rain just a little bit on Sunday, and I was like, yes, rain, yes.
No, and I can verify that because... so with fibromyalgia, I get achy whenever it's going to rain. And it hasn't rained in like 2 months. Yeah. So I haven't really had that going on. But the last few days, my hands keep aching. It's not actually like, it's not a bad thing. It's like annoying, but it's not bad. But I have actually been really excited that my joints hurt because I'm like, rain.
Yeah. One of those smoke in there too. So. Yesterday I was like, stingy eyes all day, and then I felt like cotton balls in my mouth. It just felt like
it's been
like super gross.
Yeah, there's wildfires in Canada, and the wind currents are blowing all of the smoke directly down to Portland. So we've had just really horrendous air quality. Yeah,
I couldn't tell if I was like, is there a new allergen out again, or is this like all the smoke and stuff just like piling up on my face right now?
Yeah,
there's felt awful yesterday.
Everyone's coughing. It's just it's rough. Anyway, so what? So you've been having problems with
too many
ideas, and some seasonal stuff.
Yeah, it's making me like want to just play video games and stuff when I get home instead of work on some of these projects, even though I'm super inspired to work on them. Yeah, but it's like this weird dissonance going on in my brain.
No, that's fair, and like I've been in a somewhat like I prefer fall time, and not as much winter because I hate being cold, and
I like November. It's my favorite month.
I feel like if fall could just be always where it's like crisp enough
when it's sunny and super cold out, that's my favorite.
Yeah, so it's like, you feel good wearing like a cozy sweater, but it's not so cold that like I can't feel my toes.
Yes.
There's a line. Anyway, but I don't like, my mood is not generally affected by the weather. Anyway, what was I even saying? So, when I sent out the boxes for the summer, I was stressed, and then I thought, I need to take this little break and just kind of, just relax. But then time crept by a little bit fast, and then I realized our stomachs are both growling. Mine did that earlier too. Anyway, wow. I'm hitting a like really unfortunate point of like just caffeine crashing. Coffee. I need coffee.
9 p.m.
Okay. Back on track with whatever I was saying. This one's mine to edit, so this is my own fault. Note to future self, this is your own fault. Okay. I literally don't even know what I was talking about.
You're talking about Book Bath Box, I think, and fall, and
I honestly don't even know what the point. Basically, you were talking about how like, you've been playing video games and stuff and having like trying to get out of that because of sad feelings. I was gonna say that I'm having a similar thing because I let myself fall into playing a lot of video games and watching a ridiculous amount of like reality shows and Ghost Adventures and Pioneer Quest and all those things I've been talking about. So I was doing that, and then all of a sudden I realized that, wow, I really need to get working on Book Bath Box. And then all of a sudden I was moving, and then like all blah, 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 like everything just kind of piled on. Yeah. And I have all of these other things that I want to be doing, like all these other projects that I'm excited about. And so I'm having a hard time kind of balancing that all out, basically.
Yeah.
I'm in a similar boat.
Yeah. Yeah. I've just had a lot of like life decisions I'm trying to make right now too about like my like work and all this stuff in like the next, I don't know, 5 months or something.
Right.
Know? So I'm trying to like just be like, everything's fine.
Right.
I want to just,
You know, it's one thing that I don't know if this will ever happen in my life, but I think if I did, it would give me a better center in my life. I don't know. But I'm perpetually a little bit jealous of my friends Mike and Kelsey because they are really good. Well, okay, Kelsey's really good at this, and then Kelsey is good at making Mike be good at this because Mike's more like me. But Kelsey she's really good at sticking to a schedule. Like she sets her own personal schedule, and like she gets up at the same time every day. Doesn't matter if she stayed up super late. She makes sure she gets up at that same time.
Yeah.
She makes sure she like does this 10-minute, like she's been studying Japanese for a couple of years now. And so she always does like 10 minutes of Japanese in the morning, like reviewing her, very scheduled out. And she and Mike have been doing a lot of these daily, like routine things of like projects that they want to be doing or like skills that they want to be building.
Yeah.
And they're just so grown up. Like they are adults over there. We're the same exact age, but they are adults.
Yeah.
In fact, Mike is younger than me, but they are super grown up. So like they get up every morning before work and they go on a walk. What? Yeah. When they get home, they've both been doing like exercise. They do a workout.
Oh man.
Then
I can do that for like a month and then it kind of
I'll do like 2 weeks where I am really on point with doing like a Taibo video or something.
Yeah.
And then I get totally distracted and I realize I don't care. But they've also been, so Kelsey has been working on writing, and she actually had a really cool idea where she made a private Tumblr, and I'm stealing this idea totally. And so if you have your primary Tumblr set up, you can then make a secondary one that's totally private.
Okay.
So it's essentially like a journal. And she has been making daily posts. She'll write for like 15 minutes. It doesn't matter what it is. And then she just posts it. Mike has similarly he wants to learn how to draw. So every day he does a drawing and then he uploads a picture of it.
Yeah.
And they've just been doing this, and this has become their evening thing. And so I feel this is the way to do it. They just have the habits set. Yeah. They have the schedule set, and they just go for it.
Yeah.
Whereas I spend all the time I take the same chunk of time where they have gone out and done a walk, worked out, done this project, and I took that time and all I did was like roll around flailing, wondering what project I should work on, right. And then giving up and eating ice cream and watch TV.
Yeah. Yeah, lists are my friend that way, because then I keep I have my real to-do list now because I have so many lists of things I want to do, but I have on that list a bunch of things that are very short-term, quick things I could be doing, or longer-term, bigger idea projects. So I can just go in there and take a look. And I'm trying to be more active about being I don't like going on Facebook. Just don't go to Facebook.
Right?
Just don't. It's I don't know. I don't use the internet that much, so it's I watch a lot of YouTube and stuff, but it'll be in the background or something.
Yeah.
But Instagram, I'm on there 20 minutes a day maybe or something. So I'm not on there very much. But yeah, lists are my biggest friend always.
You know what's something that I do, which is the stupidest waste of my time? I mean, it's not stupid in that I do get some self-care out of it. But then sometimes I just sit down and I think about it. And I'm like, this is the biggest waste of my time. So it's no secret that I love reality TV. I watch them all. I love it. But I'll rewatch reality TV. So like I've already seen.
Do you just watch it? You don't do anything else?
I'll like, I don't know why I got so high pitched there.
I liked it. Are you trying to say yes? Are you lying right now? You get high pitched when you lie?
No. I'll do things, but they're not productive things.
Yeah.
I'll play a game on my phone.
Yeah.
And I'll have the same season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians that I've watched. I know this feeling though,
but it feels like comfortable.
It is comfortable, but then I do it for so long that it's like I just wasted my life.
Yes, I understand.
I just wasted a considerable portion of my life, and I already know what's going on with Kim and Kanye right now. Like, why? Why?
I have a question. Do you how do you reward yourself? Do you like go? I do this to myself all the time of being like, I'm on working on stuff on a Saturday and I have like 3 emails I really need to do, which I need to do tomorrow. Yeah. This is my life right now. And so I'll be like, you do this for an hour, you can play a video game for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You do this for whatever, and like.
See, that's the thing. I do that, but sometimes I kind of forget. But when I'm really on top of it with that, I get so much more productive. And then when I do those things, so like, okay, one example, we can say reality TV. Or you know what? Here's a better example. Chocolate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is something I used to do in college. This is like when I first kind of came up with it, when I first discovered this tactic of rewarding yourself for these like little steps.
Doesn't work for everybody, but it certainly works for me.
Yeah. So when I was in college, I was really into those Reese's Minis. So I would get a bag of them, and whenever I accomplished a task, I would let myself have a Reese's Minis.
Yeah.
And I'm really into chocolate, so I'm like very easily motivated. So if I decided that the only way I could actually consume chocolate was if I was doing this tactic.
Yeah.
And a Reese's Mini is not big. Sure. It's mini.
Yeah.
So by default, it's tiny. So if I did like a paper, I got to do that. If I finished this assignment, I got to eat one,
I think it's like, we sound like we're both very similar in this, or I think we're both just got into a rut. And we just kind of need to like ease ourselves off the things that we're obsessed with right now to like re-obsessed with the projects that we like. It's just like you have to like transition back onto the things that you like are obsessive and productive, or this is obsessive and non-productive. Yeah.
So I am officially going to ban myself from reality TV for a little bit.
I usually ease myself off of things.
I go cold turkey.
Sometimes I have to just go. I have to just get out of my system and go like 100% there.
Yeah.
And just like go like this game. I'm playing this game called Massive Chalice right now, and it's just like a turn-based strategy game. Mm. It's really good though. I love it. And it's like I gave myself like a Saturday to just basically play that all day because I just needed it. Like I just needed a full mental break last weekend, but like and I like realized I was doing it all wrong, and I fucked myself by like, oops, sorry. I screwed myself like 3/4 of the way through, and so I basically started the whole game over again with all the knowledge. Like, it didn't feel like I was just like, whatever, I know how to do this better now, kind of a thing. But,
exactly, you have to go back and do it right.
Yep. So I've been like replaying it, but I figured I was gonna say, once I'm like, I feel like I'm already going like, I can feel the need to the want to play it all the time easing off now. Okay. I kind of like got it out of my system.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to have that like binge day of just like getting it all out of your system, just full self-care marathon. Mm-hmm. And then for me, I will do that, and then I hit the point where I realize I've done this so much that now like it's excessive. Yeah. And now I can just flip the switch and go back to still doing self-care, but in a more metered way.
Yeah.
So
totally.
those like rewards for smaller projects, and I talked about it before, that app Habitica, which is the sort of RPG, but for like building good habits, breaking bad ones, doing all your to-do list things.
Yes.
So that definitely helps me.
Two things. One, I think I realized that I've been doing less project work because I think I've been over socializing lately, kind of unintentionally. But it was just like, there was one day, man, I had like got up in the morning, this was like the worst day. Let me just walk through this really quickly.
Okay.
There was this construction traffic that made me, it usually takes like 20 minutes to drive to work. It took me an hour and 15 minutes to get to work.
Ugh.
Got stuck, 100% stuck for like stopped traffic. Anyway, I got to work and then I like totally flustered because I got there so late.
Right.
And then I went to lunch and I was like, okay, let me decompress time. Then my friend texted me and like, can I talk for 5 minutes? Turned into 40 minutes. And I got back to work. And then I'd already agreed to meet somebody, like my co-teacher for class before class. So I went right into meeting with them and then I went right to class. And I got home like 9:45. And that was...
And you go to bed pretty early.
Yeah.
So that's like your whole day.
That is my whole day. Yeah. It was like, so like that is a lot. And
that's
so I needed, and that's why I was like the next evening, I'm like playing a video game all day. Like when I get home, not all day. When I get home from work, I'm playing until I'm like, just because like that kind of stuff.
That's reasonable though. You got to balance that out. Otherwise you just break.
Yeah. And so I had already like socialized earlier that week. One thing I've noticed about myself is if I even have one drink, I will be unproductive the rest of the evening. 100% unproductive the rest of the evening. I will go home and I'll be like, one glass of wine, and I'm like, I don't feel like it. It's so unproductive, man. So I just have to, I've realized about myself, and I just go, yeah, you can go and like have a happy hour, but just know if you won't do anything afterward. So
like that's your night, basically. Yeah.
Also, I wanted to ask, a few episodes ago, you had this thing where you said you and your friend were trying to hold yourself accountable.
Yes.
Are you doing that? How's it working?
We have been doing that, yeah. So I have not been as good with the check-ins as she is, but we've still been doing it. So actually, I've got, I think I mentioned it before, I have that little like Q&A a day journal.
Yeah.
And this one is specifically writing prompts. So I've been doing that. Oh, yeah, because I talked about the loneliness one. So yeah, I've been doing that. But I also, when I was talking to Kelsey about her like Tumblr posting, she linked me to this list of prompts. It's kind of like the Bookstagram prompt thing that I was doing and then kind of fell off with. Too many things. But yeah, so it's got like this list of prompts, and it reminds me of that Bookstagram thing because the prompts are like one word.
Yeah.
So it's a really vague type of prompt. Yeah. And I, for some reason, I've realized that kind of thing really gets me going. Like my creativity flows so much more with a single word than with the like full sentence prompts.
Totally. I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the Q&A a day is like a full sentence kind of thing. So some of them I have a harder time with. But I loved this list of prompts that she sent me, and they it was actually made for
is loneliness one of them?
I don't remember. That would be super sad though. I'll add that at the end if it's not. But it was actually made for people writing fan fiction. And it was made so vague so that you could apply it to any fandom. But it really works for anything. So I'm going to use it as a prompt to kind of get some character development and like plot development going for the fiction stories that I wanted to work on. So
awesome.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. And I actually went and made a private Tumblr for myself. And so this is like my new way of doing this daily writing thing. And so I feel renewed motivation in that, even though it's just like one more thing on the list of things I'm trying to do.
You just have to also just be forgiving of yourself when you're like...
Yeah, and totally. And that's how I used to be a lot harder on myself about that. I think that's really easy to fall into especially if you're new to picking up bigger projects.
Yeah.
It's really easy to be hard on yourself and think that because you are taking a hiatus for a little bit, you failed. When you're not you've just taken a hiatus. And actually, this is something that I was talking with Jess, my girlfriend, about recently, about sometimes when you have to deal with your own like self-care stuff, like self-care is not just patting yourself on the back because you finished something. Like self-care is how some people get through the day, you know? Like we all have our own internal things that we're working on, and you have to do that before you can even think about taking on new projects.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just because different people have different thresholds of how much they can do doesn't invalidate anyone else's threshold, you know?
No.
And I think that's an important thing to kind of wrap into this discussion. Like a few years ago when my fibromyalgia symptoms really started up and I didn't know what it was at that point, I wasn't doing any of the things I'm doing. I wasn't doing BookTube. I wasn't doing Book Bath Box. I went to work, and by the time I got done with work, I was so tired that I came home and I laid in bed and I read a book until I fell asleep. And like I fed the cat in between there, you know? But that was all I had the energy for, is to come back home, like do a book bath, whatever, but no outside projects. And it wasn't until I figured out how to manage my symptoms and stuff and self-care that I was at a point that I was able to start taking things on. So marshmallows, if you are having a hard time, like, be easy on yourself.
Totally, yeah.
And know that, like, that self-care time is a project.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Dealing with yourself.
To, like, know yourself and how to,
Like, we are all a project for ourselves. So, like, that is an important and very big task to take on, is, like, figuring yourself out. And dealing with all of the things that we all have to deal with as humans that have bodies.
Yeah, and I do feel like that's, like, that slow build, too.
Right.
It's that also, like, finding... The more you throw at the wall and try things, the more you'll find the thing that it's, like, that theoretically should take energy, but it actually kind of gives me energy because I'm so passionate about it or something. You know what I mean? Like, so finding that, like, this podcast, instead of making me tired and feel like it's like, like another thing I have to worry about, it actually is like, doesn't really feel like it takes much time, or like, it's like, it ends up being, true. So it's like, it just depends on the project too. So it's like finding what you like, and some things are draining and some things aren't,
Right. So. Like this podcast, it honestly makes me motivated about all my other projects too. Like we get talking during the day about different ideas that we want to talk about, or
we read a review and we're all like, oh my gosh, goodness.
You guys, anytime anyone posts anything, one of us will take like a screen cap of it and send it to the other one,
really,
and we just
appreciate it.
Start squealing from our respective places.
I want to talk about forgiving yourself. Like, so that class I was teaching, actually went down to 1 day a week, because it was like, this actually will go into our next topic a little bit, because it's like, I realized it was taking so much of my energy. I was exhausted. And so I ended up just like sitting down with the guy I'm teaching with, and just being like, who's super understanding. That's why I decided to teach a class with him. And I was just like, it was funny because I was like, I'm really tired. And he's like, oh, I'm tired too. And I'm like, no, I'm really tired. And he's like, oh yeah. And I was like hiking all weekend, and I was like, and I finally,
you don't get it.
I finally ended up sending him a message in like Slack, the text message that was like, no, I'm really tired. And he finally got it, and I was like, oh. So he was like, that's totally fine. Like, you can do 1 day a week. We can make it work. You can just help with like,
was it 2
getting
days
materials
before
ready.
That?
Huh?
Were you doing 2 days a week before that?
Yeah, it was like Monday and Wednesday nights, 6 to 9 p.m. and I get off work at 5.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So, I'm just 1 day a week, and that's so much better. And
because that was the other thing we were going to talk about, is when sometimes you are doing so many projects that you kind of lose yourself.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to figure out when you need to stop and let yourself play all the video games and stuff to kind of like feel like you've come back to yourself.
Yeah, evened yourself out. Yeah, and that, I think this subject came up because I went down to 1 day a week, and then I went to this ladies wine design meetup, and it was at my work, and I was like sitting there listening to all these women talk about design and being all excited, and I was like, oh, I feel like myself again right now. And I
Yeah.
just had this like moment of just being like, whew, like.
I love that. And
Yeah.
I had a similar moment because I had all the Book Bath Box stuff.
Yeah.
And then I decided to start playing Guild Wars 2 with Jess. As discussed in our last episode, which you should check out if you didn't hear.
If you like video games.
Actually, it was 2 episodes ago. My bad.
Oh, yeah.
You know, whatever. It was fun. But yeah, we were sitting there, we were playing Guild Wars 2, and we played for several hours. And I just had like a similar moment of feeling that I was myself again.
Yeah.
I'm just having this fun night with my girlfriend playing an MMO.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Yeah, and that's another thing of like, I also feel like sometimes where you get a bunch of opportunities to do things and you're like, oh, I should pursue these. And so you do, but you realize that you shouldn't have pursued that one or that one was draining. And so you kind of like take those off and you maybe like go in another direction or something. And you're like, oh, wow, I was like trying to be someone who I'm not.
Right.
You know, and it's like, yeah, I certainly have like felt that way and just been like, that's why I'm like, I've been really wanting to like go back and learn like crafts like this. That's why I like talked to that neon guy. That's why I'm going to start. I want to do some like classes on like laser cutting and like starting to do woodworking and things like that. Cause I just like, I only do digital design now. And that was like, and I was trying to do like a lot more like organizing and community stuff. And I'm like, I do want to do that, but I was doing it in the wrong way. And I need to just kind of like go back to my build things mode to like, and that kind of thing. But.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And like, we talked before about like pushing yourself to find your limits.
Yeah.
And that is a thing that I think we all, or a lot of us do, especially if you're getting really into projects. But it's kind of like a pendulum more.
Yeah.
You're not just pushing yourself, like you're swinging back and forth a little bit, trying to find the equilibrium between, not going beyond your limits, but also not losing all of your potential. Yeah.
And there's you mess up sometimes and you like fail and fail in quotes, it's like, but there's also just like, there's good and bad ways to fail too. Like in terms of if you're working with other people. Right. Well, if you can't do it and you are mean to yourself, you're making it a failure rather than a learning experience.
Exactly.
That's a bad way to be failing. But also, if you're like working with other people and you can't do it, instead of like going to them and talking to them and making it like when I went and talked to my co-teacher, and he was totally understanding and we worked it out, versus just being like kind of like ghosting and just like walking off and like. And burning bridges and like, you know what I mean? Like people are very understanding and it's
exactly.
just
like there's an easy way to do this. Yeah. People are, like you said, people are understanding. People will work with you. If you just go and talk to people, there's empathy. Yeah. I
feel like when I said bad, I didn't mean to like, like, But you know what I mean? Like just like it's all learning and it's all just like, just if you are going to like drop off on something, just do it in the right way.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Because I mean, we definitely have to do that sometimes, but just, I guess, be respectful of the other person and let them know that you're going to leave. Yeah. I was going to say something else and it's kind of escaping me right now.
We can sit here in silence until you remember. Just like a full 30 seconds.
This is good podcast. Silence.
There's never any silence on this podcast.
I know. What was I going to say?
I was going to go on a tangent.
Go on a tangent.
Okay, while you're thinking. I remember I was listening to this one podcast a while ago, and it was very like a small podcast. I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about how they like edited out like sometimes like breathing or like pauses and stuff. And then like our podcast is super easy to edit because there is no pause in conversation. Sometimes it's like, gosh dang it, this microphone again, and we edit that out, but it's so rare we have to edit.
We have maybe like 2 points in each podcast that we take a little piece out because like a microphone cord did a weird buzzy sound or like
the vast majority.
That's basically it.
Some chatty Cathy's here.
I don't know. I guess basically it's okay to decide what things that you need to like put on the back burner.
Yeah.
And I really feel like I had something here. I'm just like talking, hoping that it comes out.
Yeah. Just start like inspirational speech. Sounds like a Hallmark card.
I know.
I
guess I did have like a couple notes. Basically, a couple of the things that I am trying to balance out. So, okay, obviously we have the podcast, Book Beth Box. I am doing my best to keep up with BookTube, but that's one of the things where I do take breaks from BookTube, and like that just happens.
Yeah.
And then the writing thing, but that's like 15 minutes of my day, so that's reasonable. But I have for a while been wanting to do more ASMR videos.
Oh yeah.
And like specifically, I like to do reading, like a chapter of a book or something. Mm-hmm. But also, for a while, actually, I bought one of the microphones that we are using right now. I specifically bought it because I wanted to start doing audiobook narration, and I recorded and edited, and I was so pleased with the audition that I had put together for this one. And
yeah, I remember the story.
I don't know why I didn't save it at any point, and it just disappeared. And I was so sad.
Yeah.
I had stayed up. I'd worked on it for like 6 hours straight. I was so pleased with it. And then it was destroyed. I just gave up on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And actually I went back and I checked, and that book still does not have a narrator. So
now you really know how to do it. You'll be able to do it in like half the time. It'll be better.
I basically have
too.
the chapter memorized.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even need a script.
Yeah. Sometimes you like lose artwork or something. It's like you redraw it and you draw it twice as fast and twice like better.
Right.
It's like it's always But.
Yeah. Like I think I just needed that break, but it's almost bad because now it's planted the idea that I should do another project.
Yep.
So I just feel like there's so many things, and it's finally I remembered what I was going to say earlier.
It better be good.
It's actually not that good.
Just joking. Tell us.
Basically, I just wanted to make the point that listening to our podcast, you might be like, wow, these people do a lot of random projects. But at least for me, it definitely didn't start that way. So I didn't just decide that I'm going to do all of these things. And I didn't just like, I'm not the kind of person that just has boundless energy. Because there's some people who I think are just naturally like that. It was a slow process. So if you have a ton of projects that you want to work on and you only have time and energy for like one of them, don't fret. Just give yourself a little time to adjust to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you don't seem like you're doing random projects to me. But
not random, but
yeah.
I mean, like, I just do a lot of things.
Oh, okay.
Like, looking back,
yeah.
Before, like 5 years ago, I didn't have any of these sorts of hobbies. My hobbies were reading and playing video games.
Yeah.
So like I wasn't doing videos or podcasts or subscription, like all these things. I would never have thought that I would have time.
Yeah.
Like I would have laughed if someone told me that I was going to do all these things years later, So it just started as something like I slowly started doing BookTube, and then I added on a little bit at a time because I started getting more interested in all of these other areas. And so I think that if you are sitting there thinking that you would like to do these sorts of things, but you don't have time to do all of them, pick one and just try it.
No, that's like, it's like the Nike. It's just like, you really just have to do it.
Yeah.
You can fuck it up. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just do something. That's why we just started this podcast. So it was like one Sunday where we're like, let's do it. Then the next weekend we were recording it.
Exactly.
You just like, who cares?
Yeah, and while you do it, you figure out if you actually like it or and I mean, that's like, what we were saying, like we're ending season 1 because we have all these ideas and we've gotten good feedback and we figured out how podcasts work. So
how podcasts work.
How to podcast. So like we're ready to go into the next season a little bit more refined, a little more fine-tuned. And so you just kind of had to jump in and pick a starting place and
don't hold yourself back.
Exactly. And yeah. I feel like this is another one of those episodes where we're a little bit all over the place, but I think we're
getting stars in our eyes.
I know. I think we're both kind of in a space where before we recorded, we were discussing all of our plans for season 2.
They're also beautiful.
Oh, they're so good, you guys! Like
they're so good.
I'm not even just trying to get you to listen to it, but if no one listens to it, I'm still so excited for all the things we're gonna do. Like it's gonna be so fun. Yeah. So definitely listen in the next few weeks. We're gonna slowly give you a little bit more info as it solidifies a bit more. And I'm just kind of going into wrap up mode because we're hitting that point.
Hitting that point.
Unless you had anything else you wanted to talk about.
Nothing.
All right. So yeah.
Nothing.
That was creepy. That the point at which Adrian just morphs into a cave creature. Like, yes. I don't know. Yes. Sort of Gollum-y.
I was trying to decide if I should continue that till the end of the podcast or just...
I'm going to...
Tell us about all the social media links.
Can I ask that you do that throughout all of October?
Of course.
Thank you. Because we do still plan on having a spooky October. Spookcast. That didn't work. Nope. Okay. That was going to have something there. Mm-hmm. As we approach season 2, we would love it if you went and filled out that survey that I mentioned.
Yeah.
It's going to be down in the... Yes. I'm getting creeped out. Please fill out the survey so she stops.
Yes.
Yes. I love it. So, I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with this voice.
Apparently.
Already. Yeah, so fill that survey out. We'll get some info so we run into season 2 with some awesomeness, epic awesomeness. Adrian is out of cold brew coffee and very sad.
Right into season 2. Yes.
All right. And as always, go do the things. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Leave us a review on iTunes, which enters you into our giveaway.
Yes.
If you also send us an email.
By the way,
yeah,
we put every links to all the things that we talk about, like in our like stuff you're into or random tangents in our show notes.
Yes.
We don't usually say that, but oh my gosh, the game show notes links did an amazing job. There's like 50 links in there.
Thank you.
If you're ever curious about any of those games or anything we ever talk about, they are in the show notes on our website.
I was very proud of the show notes.
They're amazing. I did not realize.
I mean, I did poorly on a few of the show notes in that I did not do show notes on some of the episodes that I edited.
Yeah. Some of the earlier ones.
Yes, but I feel that I have... slightly balanced it out by the video game show notes. But yeah, if you're interested in any of the random things we talk about, definitely check that out.
Yeah.
Also find us on social media. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. You can email us.
And so lots of like cat loaf pictures on Instagram.
Yes, such cat loaves.
Cat bean, toe beans, and things like that.
There's some really good ones.
Yeah.
So do all the things. Enter the giveaway with an iTunes review or follow us. Become a patron. Words. We're losing words at this point.
Oh, God.
Oh, no. Just falling apart.
Just end it. End it.
To all you moonsuck marshmallows.